Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We hope your experience is fruitful. Please feel free to visit our website to find out how you can join our growing family. While we are loading your experience, please do us a quick favor and hit that like button from whichever platform you're watching or listening on. Also, share so others may enjoy as well. And we hope you would consider hitting that subscribe or follow button so you can check out more of our amazing content. Alright, let's start the show. Please excuse this brief interruption. For those who may not know, my name is Kwame, and I'm the executive producer of Pyro Media Network. I just wanted to let you girls know that Hope Giselle is that girl. That she is not new to this game, but true to this game. She is the moment. And some of you wish you could, but will never. And that's okay. We all have lanes and planes we need to travel on individually. But I want to just express how unbelievably proud I am of this woman right here. She may be a host to some of you, a motivator to others, but she is a sister to me. And I am beyond proud to know you. Congratulations on being the first openly Black trans woman to speak at the 60th anniversary of the historic March on Washington. You have always been paving waves since I met you in 2016, but you keep on flowing and glowing. People are just getting a taste of your power and light. Keep blooming and being the hope the world needs. All right, now, let's get on with the show.
And you better talk to me nicely. Next to blow, little bitch, I might be. Oh. Can't forget all the days they overpriced me. So now that we up, don't get advice from no. Talk to me nicely. I know that they heated, we getting icy. Whoa, can't forget all the moments they overpriced me. So now that we up, don't get advice from no. We on top, flipping the bird, they going sick. But I'ma make them eat every.
First of all, I'm not going to tell y'all how my producer and brother Kwame just fucked me up with that introduction. If it felt extra to y'all, it was extra to me because I had no idea it was going to happen. I was just waiting for my intro music to drop, child. And I came here to do my job, and here he is with the love, but that's who he's always been, and I love you, and I appreciate you, and thank you. But that ain't what we here for, child. We are here for another episode of I Have Thoughts. Now, let me tell y'all something. I know some of y'all are sitting in the audience like, bitch, where you been at? Okay? Because you've been giving us rerun after rerun after rerun. And let me tell y'all something. Me and Kwame are going to get it together. We are working on a schedule that works for the both of us so that I can come and be here with y'all in person more often. I don't like giving y'all reruns. I want to be here with the people. But, okay, for those of y'all that don't know me, in other areas of my life, I'm kind of a big deal. And so the schedule be unscheduling, the schedule be overscheduling, the schedule needs a manager, okay? That's what the schedule needs. The schedule needs a manager. It needs an agent, it needs a manager. And if I were a mediocre white woman who was doing the same stuff that I was doing, I would have all of those things and then sometimes 12. But we're not going to talk about that. That's not what we're here to talk about today. Today, we are here to talk about purpose, right? Now, it's a vent session today. And the reason that it's a vent session today is because I've recognized and realized that one, y'all like these. And so I'm going to give y'all more of what y'all like because that's what I'm about. But two, I recognize that y'all need these. And so do I. So on the days that I need to have a little therapy and y'all need to hear what I have to say in my therapy session, we going to do these vent sessions. And today is just that. So for those of you all who missed the beautiful intro that my brother did for me, yes, this weekend I made history as the first openly Black trans woman to ever be invited and actually speak at the 60th annual or the 60th commemorative year of the March on Washington. Now, for those of you all who failed history class or it just slipped your mind for what the March on Washington was, this is not to be confused with the Women's March or the Slut Walk or any of the other walks that are new. This was about the same space that Martin Luther King Jr. held 60 years ago and gave that iconic "I Have a Dream" speech. Now, mind you, he has had some other iconic speeches that have been buried under the world, where he was not so peace, love, and chicken grease, but we all know I have a dream, and this is exactly where it took place. And to be a Black trans woman and be invited to stand in this space and to be invited to hold this space that is so monumental and feel the history and to feel the power of the folks that like have come before me and spoken on those steps was amazing. To look out as a Black trans woman and hear yourself on the mall, to look out and be seeing monuments, and to be standing there ethereally in my power, unapologetically Black, unapologetically trans, unapologetically woman, unapologetically all of those things at one motherfucking time, being an Afro-Latina Haitian woman from Miami, Florida, who just turned 30, and all in the same month being granted the ability and the privilege to stand on these steps, brought me to this conclusion here. And it is that you gotta walk in your fucking purpose. Let me tell y'all something. If you don't do nothing else in this life, if you don't center yourself in any other thoughts, center yourself in knowing who the fuck you are and what your purpose is in this life. Because if you don't define it for yourself, other people will try to define it for you, and that is where they got you fucked up. Okay, I have to give you all a taste of the journey and where this came from for some of you all to understand and to be able to apply it to your own life. As a Black person in America, and as most of us who are watching, because not to say that Pyro is a Black network, but it is to say that most of us are family in the skin folk way, okay? And so because I know that most of the folks watching here are skin folk, y'all know what it means to be a Black person in America and have your entire existence be plagued with your skin tone being the entrance of the conversation, the end of the conversation, all of the things that make up the conversation. And then thereafter, people will consider how talented you are, how qualified you are, whether or not they trust you to do the job. But when you Black, the first thing that you enter the room with is your skin tone. When you're a part of another marginalized community on top of being Black, whether you be disabled, whether you be a felon, whether you be queer, whether you be, a woman, whether you be somebody who has a natural hairstyle versus somebody who's comfortable assimilating with a wig. And there's nothing wrong with the wig because y'all know I own several. But there's this idea that for some reason our Blackness ain't good enough. And when it is deemed to be good enough, it has to show up in a very specific and particular way and ask no questions and have no qualms about that. And what I want y'all to recognize and realize is that before I realized my purpose, I allowed the universe, I allowed my job, I allowed nothing ass niggas, I allowed people, I allowed any little bad comments on the social media, I allowed my mama, my grandma and them, my aunties and them, cousins, boyfriends, jacked hookups, grinder hookups, everybody and their mama was defining who I was supposed to be. Everybody was telling me what my purpose was. Your purpose is to be here and to be my cum receptacle. Your purpose is to be my son. Your purpose is to be my grandson. Your purpose is to be my this. Your purpose is to be my manager. Your purpose is to be my blah, 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 blah. And all of those things were cool for those people, but they didn't serve me. And so what I want to call to attention is the fact that whatever your purpose is, it has to serve you. The idea that other people benefit from the thing that serves you is the icing on the cake for them. But if your purpose does not serve anyone but them, you're doing it all the way wrong. And it's very likely that it won't last you very long. You see, the thing about purpose that I've discovered in my 30 years of life is that your purpose has to choose you. It is very seldom that you choose it. And the sooner that you stop trying to walk around and choose a purpose based off of what other people have told you it was, you'll be a lot happier. The second that I stopped trying to decide that I was a makeup artist, the second that I stopped trying to decide that I was going to be a dancer, the second that I stopped trying to decide that I was going to do all of these things fell in my lap. Activism, advocacy, public speaking, acting, all of these things were not things that I set up to do. Y'all know what I wanted to be? A lawyer. And I still could be. right? Because I can talk myself out of some situations. I can come up with the way around the way around the way. And I could do it all behind my motherfucking back with my eyes closed and my braids tied up in a bun. But that is not my purpose. My purpose is to inspire people with my story, my message, my word, and use my platform to be able to elevate the voices of the people that look like me, that did not have a me when they were growing up. And I understood that standing on those steps. But I wouldn't be me if I didn't bring it to y'all a little something like this. One of the things that I'm learning about my purpose is that I can't allow my purpose to live in a space of being so easily shakable that the little things bother me. What do you mean, Hope? How do you allow the little things to bother you? What do you mean your purpose is shakable? Didn't you just tell us that our purpose chooses us? So if the purpose chose you and you accepted the claim, how can it be shakable? How can it be something that isn't sturdy? Well, like to hear it? Here it go. When your purpose chooses you and it steps into your life, and you agree with said purpose and you walk in alignment with that purpose, what tends to happen is that when other people see this purpose has chosen you, when other people realize the thing that they knew about you all along but tried to get you to deter yourself away from, there are all types of folks that are going to make you feel like you do not deserve to walk in that, benefit from that, own that, be happy about that. And so they come and they shake the fucking table. Harder than K. Michelle on that one episode of Love and Hip Hop. They shake the table because they are afraid of what happens when people step into their purpose. What happens when you step into your purpose, Hope? I would like to know because I haven't stepped into mine yet, but it seems like you're very sure about yours. Well, let me go ahead and tell you. What happens when you step into your purpose is that there's a new way that you walk. There's a new understanding about self. There's a new understanding about who you're going to be, what you're going to put up with, what you're going to deal with, what you're not going to deal with, who's going to be a part of the journey and who's not going to be a part of the journey. And people don't want to get cut off once they realize that you've realized that they've been sucking up your energy, that they've been taking your resources, that they've been utilizing your access for the wrong things, that they've been using your name to get into the wrong rooms, that they've been using your image to make the wrong people do the right things. And none of those things have benefited you, your cause, the purpose, or anything that you've been called into this world to do. And so guess what? When those people finally realize that you stepped into the thing that you are supposed to be here for, and they can no longer gain access to the spaces that they have no business being in, but they've only gotten into them because of you, they get upset. You see, when people start to realize that you are no longer dealing in bullshit, that you are no longer dealing in the gossip, that you no longer find it fun to entertain conversations about other people at 2 a.m. in the morning, that you no longer want to go back and forth about who did what, who said what, and who's fucking who, people tend to change on you. When you find that purpose engulfs you. That purpose becomes your life. That purpose becomes the reason why you get up. That purpose becomes the thing and the reason for why you move and why you're motivated. And let me tell you something. A lot of people ain't moving and ain't motivated at all. And it's not because they haven't found their purpose. It's because they have not accepted it to be true. You see, a lot of us are wondering why there are so many of us stuck in these ruts and stuck in the idea of we can't get nowhere. We're not going anywhere. Something isn't happening for me. And do you know why? It's because your purpose is to be a teacher, but you've been trying to be a rapper for the last 35 years. Let it go. We're not all 2 Chainz. Step into that purpose and teach these young men how to become the next person so that they don't make the mistakes that you made and spent years and years and years and years and years fighting their purpose when they could have been changing the minds and shaping the world of the young men around them to go and be the next person. Sometimes the idea and the comments around some people that can't teach is not a bad thing. Sometimes it's not your job to teach from the stage. It is your job to be the person that gets thanked in that speech at the Grammys. It is your purpose to be the reason why somebody makes it out of the hood and becomes the reason why the community has a community center. It is your purpose to be the person that somebody thanks 25 years later for being able to live in their dream. Your purpose is not always going to be the glitz and glam that you want. It is going to be the mediocrity. It is going to be the boringness that you thought you were going to get away from. But at the end of the day, the thing that is going to be the most fulfilling to you is the silence. A lot of us are out here chasing the dream and the lights and the cars and the adoration and the this and the that. But your purpose is to avoid all of that so that you can shape the minds of other people around you. Your purpose is to be there because what you don't know is your mom has been lying to you about feeling well this entire time. And so your purpose is to help her get through this cancer diagnosis. But you've been so busy chasing the idea that you're going to be the next Instagram model baddie that you haven't paid attention to the fact that she's been lying to you for the last 6 months. So start walking in your purpose and understand that you might need to go back to nursing school because your mama is going to need it. And you'll thank yourself later for it because that is your purpose. Your purpose is not being in the next video for the next up and coming rap star who's only going to last for 20 seconds. Your purpose is being able to find, discern, own, hold on, and accept what has been coming for you, coming at you, looking at you, staring you in the face from the time that you graduated, the time that you came out, the time that you realized what it was that wasn't working for you. You also realized what would work for you, and you've been fighting it. Stop that. The reason why a lot of us have had shakable purpose is because we've been running from it, trying to hold on to a dream. And while dreams are awesome, that dream may not necessarily be your purpose. So let's discuss that more after this break.
Talk to me nicely, Next to blow, little bitch, I might be. Can't forget all the days they overpriced me. So now that we...
This episode is sponsored in part by Bullet and Flight Radio. Get ready to uplift your spirit with Bullet and Flight Radio, the world's leading progressive Christian radio station. Experience the vibrant fusion of gospel house music and a rich medley of inspiration from all musical genres that'll make your heart soar. Join their extraordinary lineup of today's trailblazers, visionaries, and voices that matter, all sharing their stories and wisdom. Stay plugged in around the clock as they broadcast unmissable content 24/7. Your go-to station for all things inspiring. Become a pilot today by visiting bulletandflightradio.com. Bullet and Flight Radio. Your story, our station. Step away from the chaos and noise of your daily life. Experience moments for yourself that are calm, serene, and full of peace. A necessary respite to foster growth within you, because self-care should be luxurious. Luxor Noir.
I know that they heated, we getting icy. Whoa, can't forget all the moments they overpriced me. So now that we up, don't get it.
Hey, everybody, it is Giselle. I am back with I Have Thoughts, and today is a vent session about finding your purpose and understanding what that looks like. So I left y'all on a little bit of a cliffhanger, and I'm so sorry, but I'm not sorry because I wanted to leave y'all with the popcorn in the hand, smacking it up, okay? So let's talk a little bit about how we get to this idea of finding our purpose and understanding our purpose and embracing a purpose so that it becomes unshakable. So I left you all in a space of determining why your purpose is unshakable, and it's because a lot of us run away from the purpose. A lot of us are so hell-bent on following the dream that we forget to look at the thing that is our purpose, right? Your dream might make you feel good, but I would like folks to start to think about dreams as side hustles, right? Your dream is the thing that funds your purpose. And if that dream does not help to fund your purpose, obviously, it is an obstacle. It is something that is in the way of you getting to where you're trying to go. So a lot of us get upset because we're like, I'm at a standstill. Something doesn't feel right. I've been doing good for the last 5 years. This has been okay. But now this just isn't working for me anymore. I'm kind of in a space where like, I feel like something is in my way. You ever talk to one of your good Judies and you like, I feel like something is in the way. I feel like something is like bogging me down. I feel like every single time, like I get so close, but then like something always pulls me back. You know why that is? Because at this point, there's nothing else for you to do but to step into that thing. And you are hell-bent on following this dream over following your purpose. But what you fail to realize is that your dream has always led you here. Y'all ever notice how sometimes you'll do a thing and it keeps leading you back to the same group of people, back to the same engineer, back to the same career path, back to the same photographer, back to the same hotel, back to the same beauty shop, all of these different things that you tried to like step away from because they didn't necessarily feel like you, because you talked to a friend and a friend was doing this backpacking life and they moved and went to Brazil for 6 months and they've been living their best life ever since. That was their purpose. It's not yours. But a lot of us fail to realize and accept that sometimes the things that we keep coming back to, the things that are constantly pulling us, the things that are calling us, the things that we are called to are the things that we might need to hold on and do further investigation about. One of the ways that I realized that my purpose was to be this person, to help, to inspire, to use my voice, to use my access, to give my resource away, was when I tried to be an it girl, when I tried to be an influencer, when I wanted to just post pretty pictures and give y'all, tidbits about my life and do the thing that I feel like everybody was expecting of me, that was too much. That felt like too much work. Sitting on my computer and editing videos and showing people my life and telling people what I ate for dinner yesterday and showing people how much money I spent on clothes. And it just felt like extra work. None of that stuff spoke to me. And while for a lot of people that might have been easy, it might have been something that felt like very attainable. You can make a bunch of money doing that stuff. People follow you. Folks want your life. People want to be you. They think stuff is sweet. Everything feels great at first. And then all of a sudden you realize that you are in this roundabout circle of doing the same exact thing and trying to make it innovative. And that's what I realized. What I also realized is that when I would get deals, I wasn't excited. Other influencers would be excited and they would be ready to go and raring to get these gigs up. My moral compass around who I am and who I want to be and what I stand for doesn't change because there's a check involved. So what I also started to notice was that folks were coming to me with things that I was fundamentally against. And had they been following me like they said that they were in an email when they asked me to do this particular campaign or this particular product promotion or whatever the case may be, they would have known that this went against my moral compass. But what I started to also realize is that these people don't give a fuck about me. They want to use me to get to my audience to promote something that my audience is probably not going to like. And they think that shoving a check in my face is going to make me submit and do something different. And then I realized that I don't feel that way when it comes down to speaking to my community. I've had 4 and 5 hour long conversations with bigots that have drained me, but never have I ever felt like I wouldn't do it again for the betterment of education to my community, to people who are going to be affected. I get up every single day and talk about the disparities of being a Black trans person or being a Black person or being a Black woman or being a woman in general. And none of those things tire me out. None of those things make me roll my eyes. I might get over it some days. I might be a little pissed off with my community some days, but never at a point in my life have I ever done that work, that very tumultuous work, that very ungrounding work, that work that rips you from limb to limb to limb to limb, and never have I ever done any of those things, done any of that work and felt like I don't want to do this is kind of hard. But the thought process of simply editing a video about shoes vexed my entire fucking soul. And it was because that wasn't my purpose. A lot of you all are focusing so heavily on trying to have the life that is expected of you, trying to showcase the things that people think that you should have, trying to be the person that somebody else needs you to be, that you are fighting against your purpose. You are on this uphill battle and you don't know why your legs hurt and you don't understand why this feels so taxing, but it's because you're doing something that you don't want to be doing. And in 2023, I don't want to be doing anything that doesn't feel good. I don't want to be doing anything that don't feel like it's feeding my soul. I don't want to be doing anything that doesn't feel like it's adding to me. I don't want to be doing anything that doesn't make me feel fulfilled. I don't care if I leave a situation feeling drained. If I also feel fulfilled, if I'm willing to get back up and do it again the next day, if I am willing to put myself on the line to do it every single day of my life, if it brings me joy to get one message from one person that understood what the fuck I was trying to say, that is my purpose. That is my purpose. Stop letting these people in your life dictate to you where you should be going, how it should look, and what you should have, by what time you should have it, and when it should be wrapped up in a pretty bow for you to be able to enjoy it. Because life doesn't always work like that. And so many of us miss out on the opportunity to live amazing lives, healthy lives, lives that are full of balance and amazing people and diversity and culture and travel and love and all of those things, because we are so busy trying to give several other different people different versions of how they think we should be living and different versions of the way that our dreams have showed up for us, instead of walking in the thing that keeps bopping us in the forehead every fucking morning. Every morning, you sit at your table and you do your own little news anchor of the weather. And you have yet to crack open that Google search and figure out how you can become a weather woman or a weatherman or a weather person. Every single day before your class walks into that room, you're giving lectures. So why have you not done the work and the due diligence to become a professor? Why are you complacent in the idea of being a third grade teacher when you know that you need to be talking to the minds of tomorrow? And I'm not talking about the young minds of tomorrow, but you're trying to shape the minds of the people that are going out here and changing things. Huh? Why are you selling yourself short? You run 6 miles every morning before taking your ass to that law firm. And yet you still have not applied to do that decathlon. Why? Because somebody told you it was stupid? Because there's no grand prize? Because there isn't an Olympic gold medal at the end of it? A lot of us are not walking in our purpose because we're letting people that are too small to fulfill their own tell us how to be. Some of y'all gonna catch that one in the car tomorrow morning. But let me say it again. A lot of us are not walking in our purpose because we are letting people who are too small to live in their own tell us how to be. So some of us are not getting there, not because we're scared, not because we don't understand, not because we're not recognizing, not because we don't see it, but because we have somebody that is a small fish in our pond whispering in our ear about how it's unattainable, about how it's too big, about how it's too vast, about how you gonna afford that, how you gonna pay for that, who's gonna buy that, who's gonna be into that. There are 7 other people that got those companies and they're doing their big one. How you gonna compete with those people? There's always a small fish in the pond trying to tell your big fish ass that you need to shrink to their level. And it's not because they necessarily want the worst for you. It's not necessarily because they're a hater. It's because they don't have the drive themselves. So of course they don't feel like you should. Step away from those people. Move beyond that circumstance. Move beyond that comment. Encourage them to move beyond their own thoughts, because oftentimes that is projection. That is them talking to themselves in your situation. They're using their understanding of their life and how they have to show up to name it for you, and you don't have to accept that. That card's been declined. Torn up, ripped up, thrown in the trash, and I'm not going to reinstate it. And if you send me another one, I'm not going to activate it. You have to get serious about your purpose. You have to get serious about what you love. You have to get serious about that thing that calls you. You have to get serious about that thing that's on the back of your neck. You got to get serious about the thing that's on that chip on your. You got to get serious about it. You got to be as serious about your purpose as some of y'all were about them Beyonce tickets. You got to be as serious about your purpose as some of y'all are about y'all mama. You got to be as serious about your purpose as some of y'all are about y'all spouse. Because some of y'all go hard for people, but you don't go hard for yourself, and it don't make sense. So I'm going to leave you with these final thoughts. How long are you going to sit in mediocrity before you realize that you were born and destined for greatness? How long are you going to continue to downplay your purpose because it doesn't come with accolades before you understand and realize that you are the visual? And that the accolades will come in whatever fashion or form that they will come in. And if they never come, you weren't doing it because of them. You were doing it in spite of them. How long are you going to let small fish whisper in your ear and deter you from what you had going on? How long are you going to allow your dreams to trick you into believing that they are your purpose? Once you can answer those questions, once you can settle in yourself and recognize that you are not a problem, but you are your own solution, I dare you to come back here, hop in these comments, and give folks your story and tell us what your purpose is. Because some of us have yet to start walking in it. But I assure you that I'm rooting for you every day from here on out to get to it. Like I say this time and every time, peace, love, and hope, and have the day that you deserve. Bye, everybody.
Talk to me nicely. I noticed they heated, we getting icy. Whoa, can't forget all the moments they overpriced me. So now that we up, don't good advice we know.